Today we will have a lot of fun creating this photo manipulation with Darth Vader. So let's start. Hey guys, it's Nemanja and welcome to another photo manipulation tutorial. Today we will have a lot of fun creating this interesting Star Wars theme with Darth Vader. And the point of this tutorial is
to understand the dark side of the Force.
Actually, the point of this tutorial is, as any other photo manipulation tutorial, to give you necessary knowledge, tips and tricks to be able to create anything that you can imagine. So the final goal is for you to reach that point to be able to create anything that you can imagine. And to do that, you need to go through a lot of tutorials, your own projects, trials and errors, a lot of practice, and you will get there. So go and check this tutorial too, because it will bring you one step closer to that final goal. You will learn some new tricks. Right guys, let's jump straight into Photoshop and let the fun begin. Right guys, before we start, let me show you the images that we will use today. So we will use this sky, we will use this garbage, trash, whatever it is. Then we will use Darth Vader, that is already cut out, and TIE Fighter, that is already cut out too. And maybe we will use this plane. We will see. Okay, so let's start with the sky. What we need to do here is actually nothing, because it's really good. Let's start with this trash scene here. So what I want to do here first is get rid of the sky. So to do that, I will go and use quick selection tool, and you can use boom, and you can use any selection method that you like. So there are plenty of ways how you can select and extract anything in Photoshop. If you don't know how to do that, check out my tutorial about that. You have link right here. Okay, I will use quick selection tool. That's it. And now I will go and click select and mask. So I will just refine this selection a little bit, because I want to have better selection here. And then we will continue. So wait a few moments. Okay, I think this is good enough. Now I will press OK, and I will hold Alt or Option key and click on the new layer mask. And that's it, I'm done. Right, I can get rid of this mask too, because I will never need it again, or I will need it maybe later, who knows. Let's leave it for now. So now I will copy this, select, copy, and go back to this layer and paste it right here. So as you can see, I have it here. Before we bring our hero for today, the Darth Vader, I want to modify this trash to transform it a little bit, you will see. And actually I want to get rid of this sky, I don't need it. So I will say right click, apply layer mask, and that's it. I don't have any mask here. So now what I want to do is to press Ctrl or Command T to enter the free transform tool, maybe make it a little bit smaller, and go right click, go to warp, and push this down, and I want to bring this up. So something like a hill for him to stand here, something like that. So it will be okay. Let me see, we can move this maybe here, and this maybe here, and I think we are done. Let's press enter, and that's it. We can move this left and right, and the selection is pretty good. We can refine later if we want. There are some things like this here that we can refine, but I will not spend time refining this because it can take some time, and for this tutorial the point is to understand what you need to do and how to do it. And of course, when you're doing it on your own, you can spend a lot more time tweaking those details. Details are really important, so spend time tweaking that. Okay, now let's go and find our hero for today. It's Darth Vader, so let's bring him here in the scene. That's it. Some sound effects too. Okay, now we need to position him somewhere on this pile of trash. So I will zoom it and lower the opacity of Anakin Skywalker, also known as Darth Vader. And let me see. I can put this right here, somewhere here. Okay, and then go back with the opacity. Let's name this Darth Vader, and this is trash. Okay, And now put a layer mask on Darth Vader layer. So that's it. And now I will go use a brush, harder, a little bit around 50 or so percent, and smaller one, black color, 100% opacity, and just hide some parts here to have impression that he is actually standing somewhere in the trash. Maybe I don't, maybe I can hide everything here, or leave this like this. Nothing special, but to have that impression that he is behind those things here and here too. So let's delete something, maybe like this. So let's bring back. I'm just switching between black and white color here by pressing X on the keyboard. So with white I will reveal things, and with black I will hide things. So that's how the layer masks are working. Okay, and we can go with this too a little bit. Let me see. So maybe here like this, and then you need to spend some time tweaking those small details, but I will not do that now. So for me this is okay. Actually I will leave maybe almost everything here. That's it. Now let's deal with the cape here. So what I want to do, I want to press Ctrl and click on the trash layer to load this selection. And now I want, again, by selecting the layer mask of Darth Vader layer and black color, I just want to get rid of the cape here where the trash is, okay? Because it will give me a little bit better effect that the cape is behind the trash, like this. A little bit more interaction with this. I don't want the leg to be behind, but a little bit more interaction with the trash. Okay, almost there. And we are almost done. Now what I want to do to invert the selection by pressing Shift, Control I, or Shift Command I on a Mac to invert the selection, and then I want to hide the selection because I find this marching ants distracting. So I'll press Control H or Command H and just hide the selection. So now everything that is not trash is selected. So now I can go and paint on the cape, but I don't want to paint with the black. I want to paint with the white to bring back some details here, as you can see. So just paint with the white there, and we are almost done. Like this, and I will deselect everything by pressing Ctrl or Command D and lower the opacity of the brush for something around 20%, and I want really soft brush and paint here. Okay, something like this to bring back some parts of the cape to blend it a little bit more with this trash. Like this. So let me see, let's unzoom it. This is really nice. Before and after, now he is a little bit more blended with the trash. We need to make this part of the trash darker because now it's in the shadow, and we will do that right away. So let's create one curves adjustment layer above the trash, clip it to affect only the trash, and move the highlights down and move everything down like this. And now we can play with the mask. So I will hide this. I will use really soft brush. I can leave 20% opacity for now, black color, and just paint here a few times like this. Let's zoom this a little bit. That's cool, and this can be brighter. And guys, you know, the pro tip here is to spend a little bit more time and tweak some small details, maybe just dodge and burn some, add some highlights on the trash here and there, because you will have more realistic result. But that will take some time, and I don't want to waste your time watching me doing this so long. So let's just make this darker, and let's do it. This will be it for today. Okay, now let's go and add hue and saturation adjustment layer, clip it to affect only the trash, and lower the saturation of the trash a little bit. So I don't want all, but just a little bit. And of course you can, maybe even more. And of course you can go and bring back saturation of some details, like maybe 30% opacity, and maybe I want to bring saturation of this. Okay, and maybe this can here, and some parts, I don't know, something just to have not everything completely washed out. Okay, something like this will be cool. Maybe some part here too. I don't know. For now, let's leave it like this. And now let's play with some contrast of Darth Vader. Let's go to Darth Vader layer and add some cursor adjustment layer. Clip it to affect only Darth Vader, so we can play with that only. And let me see. Let's make it darker a little bit. Go back. Actually, I want the highlights up, so let me see. To remove contrast a little bit from the highlights. And this is really nice, before and after. And I can go and bring back some parts with the black brush here at the top, the back side of the cape. And I don't know, maybe, let me see, maybe here and here. So this is before and this is after. I like it. Okay, now let's go and find TIE fighters. This is our TIE fighter, and bring it here. Paste it, Control Command V. Make it smaller by entering Transform tool, Control or Command T, and this is it. So I'll position this one somewhere here. Let me see, somewhere here. Maybe make it. Ooh, this is huge. I don't want so large TIE fighter. I said I don't want so large TIE fighter. All right. So something like this will be cool. Maybe here. Let me see, I will press enter. Now I will copy this one by pressing Ctrl or Command J and move it somewhere here. Again, make it smaller. Maybe rotate it a little bit. Let me see, like this. And put it somewhere here, like it's further away. And make a copy of this one more time. So Control Command J, move it right here. Control or Command T, and then right click and flip horizontal, so to go in this direction. Now it's too big, I will make it smaller and something like this. Let me see. Maybe here. You can play with the size and position and find what suits best for your taste. Alright guys, now that we have all elements positioned in the scene, let's play with some color correction. Let's match the colors of all elements and some contrast too. So let's do it. You can see that TIE fighters are a little bit more bluish and saturated than the rest of the scene, so we need to play with that. And Darth Vader has a different tint than this, and the background, etc. So there are a few ways how you can correct this. There are always several different ways in Photoshop to do the same thing. So we can go and tweak each element one by one, and in some photos this is the must. But here I think that we can go with adding just a gradient map, adjustment layer, and tweak everything with just that adjustment layer. So we will see. Maybe we need to tweak it even more, but let's try first with that. Right, let's go here and go with gradient map adjustment layer. And now everything is like inverted because whites are on the dark side and blacks are on the white side. So we need to click here, and first let's bring blacks to the left, whites to the right. And this is black and white version of this image, and I really like it. This one is not covered with that because this layer is below the last TIE fighter. We will fix that later, just bring this layer up. Okay, so black and white version is really good. I really like it, but I will not go here for black and white version. If you are up to that, this is good. I just want to add another point right here, somewhere in the middle, and change the color to some bluish tint. Now, of course, this is too much and too saturated, and maybe something like this. I know that is too dark now, and we can always change the color, but let's press OK and OK one more time. And now let's bring this up and put it into screen blending mode. And now it's much better. So before and after, we almost match the colors of all elements in the scene. So I really like it. What we can do here is to lower the opacity and copy this layer one more time by pressing Ctrl Command J and put this into a darken blending mode. So lower the opacity of that too. So just to add a little bit more contrast. So before and after, I really like it. Okay, but still those TIE fighters are too bright and I need to tweak them a little bit. So I can go and select all of them and press Ctrl or Command G to merge them into a group. I will name it TIE Fighter, TF for TIE Fighters. And now I can add curves adjustment layer, clip it to affect only the group and make everything darker like this, and then invert with Ctrl Command I, invert the mask. Now I will use a brush, really soft one, and just with white color and maybe 30% opacity, just paint on this. Oops, I don't want this. Just hide this and just paint this part with the white, so like this. I just want to burn this a little bit, and here too, like this, and this part too. Okay, just to add a little bit more shadows on the bottom part. And now I think it's much better. So let me see, before and after. Yeah, I like it much better right now. And one more thing that I want to do here, I want to add some motion effect. I want to add motion blur to those TIE fighters. So that's really easy. I will just go inside this folder and do one by one. Go on the first one, filter, blur, and motion blur. And now let's zoom it a little bit and try to match the angle. And let me see, maybe this is too much, but here this one is the closest one and he will be blurred more than the other one. So let's leave it about 33, maybe 30. Okay, like that. And then go to next one, filter, blur, motion blur, and maybe 20 something, I don't know, 20, maybe 20. Okay, and the last one, filter, blur, and motion blur. Not that blur, we don't need a lens blur, we need motion blur. This will be even less, around 12, why not? Okay, and that's it, and we are almost done. We can now play with our color correction and things like that, but before we go to that step, I just want to try something with that last smallest TIE fighter, the further away one, this one. I will go and find the fire, so I will copy the fire and paste it just below the last TIE fighter. So let's just paste it here. Press Ctrl Command T, make it smaller. For now, like that, we need even smaller, but I want to put it into screen blending mode, right? And now let's move it here. You can see those lines, we will fix it later, don't worry about that. So I want to have impression that this one is on fire, so something like this. Maybe even go to warp and just warp it a little bit. Something. Just play with that, like this. And now I can go and use the eraser tool, and I don't know why is this. Yeah, I know why it's happening, because all those settings. So I can go and bring it out of this group, and now it will be better. So that's great. Okay, and now what I can do, I can add even some smoke here. So to do that, go and create a layer just below the fire layer by pressing Ctrl Command key and click on a new layer like this. And now we'll use my smoke brush. I created a few smoke brushes. You can go to my website and buy them for just $1, or you can create your own ones. I have a tutorial how to create a smoke cloud dust brush. You can find a link right here. So I will go right click and use my cloud brush, this one, or maybe even this one. Okay, and I will use black and white colors. So black, like the smoke is going here, and then white, and then black again. Black and white, make a smaller brush. So just combination of black and white colors. And now I will reduce the opacity to 10%, make a bigger brush, and just do something like this. Okay, let me see. And now this looks like it's burning out. So maybe here 50 or 50, it's too much. Maybe 20. This is, guys, just some trials and errors. try to figure it out the best value. Right, I like it. I like how this looks. I will stop here. I will not waste your time anymore. I will just finalize with the final color correction, color grading actually. So let's go to the topest layer and press Shift Control Alt T or Shift Command Option E on a Mac to merge everything into one layer. So like this. And now what I like to do, just to save it in case Photoshop decide to do something crazy. And let's go to filter camera roll filter that I really like to use a lot. And here I want to play with some settings. So first I want to go and add some vignetting, just a little bit, feather it, and I like to move middle point to the left closer to the center like this. Okay, then let's go and play with some split toning. So if you press and hold Alt or Option key and move this, you will see the maximum saturation value, so you can better decide what colors best suits for this scene. So maybe I will use some bluish tint and just a little bit add that bluish tint right here. So just a little bit like this. And maybe in the highlights, I can add this red crazy color, or I don't need to add anything. So I will leave it like this. I will just sharpen it a little bit global and then go here, add a clarity, just a little bit. We can add vibrance and lower the saturation a little bit and play with some contrast. Open the shadows. You can see, woo, crazy. I don't want so bright, but like that. And I can bring highlights in. I usually go with the highlights back, but here I want to bring some highlights a little bit in, and that's it. So before and after, maybe even remove the saturation before and after. Not bad. Maybe I like this even better, but let's go here and let me see. Just tweak it a little bit. So something like this is good. You know guys, when I'm doing tutorials for you and I want to color grade my image, I have a huge problem to see those colors properly. Why? Because I have a huge octabox right here that is lit in this scene for this tutorial, of course. Let me show you that really quickly. Let's just jump into phone camera, and as you can see, this is my screen and this is huge octabox. So if I work like this, it's much better, but I cannot record tutorial like that. So just want you to know that sometimes maybe the colors are off a little bit, and that's because this huge light, but who cares? The point here is to understand how to do it, and then you will do it however you like it. So let's go back to the tutorial. Okay, so let's finalize this color grading, and let me see, maybe less vignetting like this, and I think that's okay. Maybe a little bit of bluish, and I will press OK. So this is before, this is after. What I can do here is to go to Nik Color FX Pro and use this Pro Contrast just to add a little bit more dynamic contrast and add a little bit of detail extractor. So just a little bit, this is too much, something like this, and I will press OK. And now wait a few moments for Photoshop to apply this effect, and then I will use the layer mask and just brush on the parts that I want to this effect be applied. So press Alt or Option key, click on layer mask to black everything out, and now I will use white brush, and let me see, let's use this soft brush, and I just want to apply the effect on maybe with 50% opacity on Darth Vader, a little bit here on the trash, and here on those TIE fighters. So this is it. Let me show you. Maybe you can see before, yeah, and after, before and after. I want to remove the effect from here, but that's it. Now you can add some fonts to this scene if you like. That's an option, or you can just finalize this, call it done, and that's it. Here is the photo with the fonts, as you can see right here. So you can do whatever you want. You can make like a movie poster. Right guys, and we are done for today. I really hope that you like this tutorial and that you learn some new and useful tips and tricks that will help you in your future photo manipulation projects. If you have any questions regarding to this episode, please leave them down there in the comment section below. I'll be glad to answer them. If you want to help me to make this channel even bigger and better, you can do that by visiting my Patreon page, and you will get some things in return. Check it out, the link is down there in the description. If you find this episode helpful and you appreciate this content, press that like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. Right guys, have fun, experiment with this photo manipulation, go through this episode one more time and create your own version. Maybe you can add even more elements into the scene, go online, find some files and play with that. And if you create something really fun and interesting, you can put it on Instagram, tag me, because I really like to see what did you came up with after watching this episode. Okay, see you in my next fun tutorial. Bye bye.